Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Sunday to you and your family. Taking a quick look here at Bitcoin, seeing what's going on. We got some interesting patterns and more so some backend data I really want to kind of bring you, bring aware to you, of course, because it's really important to understand some of these things going into the trading week. And we are soon to see here in the next, 8 to 10 hours, the Asian market open and to see what they decide, right? What's going to happen there? It's going to be interesting. So be sure to check that out or stick around to the end so you can learn as much as you can. Honestly, there's a lot of good stuff here today. So we're going to take a look quickly at High Block Capital data. And just to preface as well here with High Block Capital, this is a really awesome, basically a level 2 data type of scenario here where they provide us with really good details on the back end. So if you haven't been watching the channel, this is really cool stuff to kind of see, because on the back end, what we don't see on the charts is liquidation data, for example. There hasn't been much going on at all today. It's been a really quiet day, but yesterday a lot of shorts succeeded by basically closing out some long positions. So longs got hit kind of hard yesterday when the price action dropped from 26.5 to 25.3. It was a pretty scary deal there because we've retested 25,300 3 times now. Keep in mind, the more often we continue to test that support level, the more likely it is to break. So there is potential for further downside. We just got to be aware of that. Okay, it's one of those things that's a reality, a stark reality. We can also see here that whales are much more active in the last 24 to 40 hours than before. In other words, these are just really large position sizing, kind of showing us that the whales are in control versus retail. They've been in control for a very long time, but we can see their activity is higher now. And this is a correlation I've seen here before previously. Anytime the price action gets fairly low to a certain kind of extreme, if you will, the whales are very active. Okay, so previously, just before the price action jumped from 20,000 to 25,000, whales became very active. Just before the price action jumped from 21,000 to 25,000, they became active again. See, there's a common correlation there, and right now we're seeing an extreme amount of interest, which tells me that the bottom is probably in. We should see an increase from here, but there's a lot of speculation and a lot of problems going on in the market right now with crypto exchanges, specifically Binance and Coinbase. And Binance just shut its doors to the U.S. for lack of better terms with fiat. You cannot transfer USD in and out of your account. You can only trade cryptocurrency now. Okay, so it's a significant limitation there for a lot of folks, and people are trying to scramble and figure it out. But that's happening right now in the back end. Again, stuff you don't normally see. Taking a look here, we can see a lot more longs are closing their positions this weekend, and we're seeing kind of a larger amount of shorts closing their positions too. So we're kind of right at that natural little squeeze point where it's like, is it going to go up or down? A lot of folks are not really sure. And in truth, there's not a lot really telling us specifically which direction it's going to head. It would make sense the price continues lower because we keep testing that support level. But in truth, with all this craziness in the news, if that were to calm down and kind of things were to chill out and the SEC stops being the SEC, then we would see the price action increase inevitably. We should be at 30,000 right now if it wasn't for all that garbage going on right now. Okay, so again, a lot of different stuff here, but we can see here that we have 4-hour longs. We've got some late longs open right here at about the current price point, 25,750, as well as some shorts here also hedged at 27,800. Okay, so again, really, really tight numbers here. Not a lot going on. So the last 24 hours have been pretty quiet. So people are just now starting to go ahead and start opening their longs and shorts right now. I feel more like we're going to see the price increase here, just based on the simple fact that we are seeing an ascending trend here so far. We've also got, and we want to take a look at the previous monthly close, because that creates a support and resistance level. We need to close above that. So again, a closure above 25,800 would be extremely imperative here. Let's go ahead and draw this out here just a little further. Go ahead and pull this over here, and let's turn on our monthly. And it's basically this green line here, just so you can kind of see. That is the previous monthly close. So previous monthly close was 25,768. So that puts us at a place in which we need to see a closure above that here soon. Obviously, this month we want to see that, but in general, we want to be able to just continue to gravitate higher above that level than we are lower, which we have been. Okay, but good news is price is increasing right now, but generally speaking, 25.8 I think is an important number to pay attention to. Okay, so that's kind of the round number there. Let's take a look at the daily and kind of work our way down, kind of see what's going on here. Because in the big picture, we can see a handful of different things here, right? So we got the MACD still diverging. Okay, so extremely bearish in that sense. There's a good chance we could see further downside. We just got to come to terms with that. All right. We can also see that there's a newer descending type of trend here we want to pay attention to, or we haven't broken above that yet. We've tried 2, 3, 4 times now to break above that descending trend, and we continue to establish lower highs. And what that just means is lower highs is a trend that continues to set itself until it doesn't. That's why these trend lines are helpful, because it helps us kind of just quickly visualize those lower highs or lower lows or higher highs and higher lows to understand what side of the tracks we're on. We're on the wrong side of the tracks right now. We're absolutely bearish. So taking a long position right now is fairly risky. Now, buying spot, absolutely a good consideration. I think anything between 25 and 26,000 is a good value. Again, the price could be 20,000 tomorrow to fill a CME gap, but until we get there, we got to assume that 25,000 is the bottom, because that was a previous resistance turned support. We have obviously a good amount of support, 25,300. Speaking of CME gaps, let's talk about that here really quick, because there is a gap here that I just sent out through our Telegram and or Twitter. By the way, also make sure to use the link below to join our Telegram community. We have really awesome updates there consistently. We provide you with trade signals as well, some free signals all throughout the weeks. But the bottom line here is that I sent this out kind of notifying you that previous gaps have been filled. So for example, a few weeks ago, but roughly 2 weeks ago, we had the price gap up from 27,000 to 27,900. Okay. It took roughly 5 trading days for that gap to get filled. In other words, the price action came back down to its original close the Friday previous. We're seeing this here as well. Friday previous here, most recent Friday, it closed at 26,500. We are currently at the 25,800 mark, right? So we're right here in this range. There's a good chance that 3% gap will be filled, not necessarily tonight or tomorrow, but sometime within the next couple of weeks. Okay. So again, it's not a guarantee either. The price could literally shoot down to 20,000. There's no doubt that that could be a thing. But the stark reality here is if we hold this support level, the price action will inevitably bounce and continue higher to fill that gap at the very least. And the cool thing is we can still fill that gap and be on this descending trend, and the price can come down. So my anticipation is that that gap will get filled and the price may continue to try to retest 25,300 afterwards. Once again, we'll find out here soon, but the daily is telling us that it wants to retrace and pull back. But at this point, we are definitely seeing some potential realities in the back end where the price action could, in fact, recover. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So that being said, the CME gap, what was that again? I'm sorry, it's 26.5, right? So 26,500, what do you know? That's a key Fibonacci retracement level right here. So the price does recover. We could come up here to this trend line, get rejected, and come back down. That's a possibility, and or even likelihood, a probability at this point, okay? So I would like to see that. So I think along between here and 26.5 is a reality, but let's see if there's any other things on the time frames that we're looking at that could positively swing in our favor. Let's go back to the daily and wrap this up here. We can see we're below 50 on the RSI, of course. We've seen that as well. Money flow index is low, so the money is coming out of the market right now. Big surprise, it was a terrible weekend. So all that stuff being said here, we still have our support level here at the 200-day that's the EMA, 200-day exponential moving average at 25,300. So that's holding strong there as well. But we can see the 50-day working its way down to hold the price action in place. Price pretty much been stuck underneath these moving averages this whole time. So for the last week and a half, we've seen that happen. So again, until we break back up above the 50, I don't have any confidence the price is going to, shoot up or explode or come up higher. Unless there's some crazy cool fundamental stuff in the news that says like the SEC fired Gary Gensler and we're seeing some kind of awesome, recovery in the market, we're probably not going to see the price shoot up in the immediate future. But that CME gap should get filled. All right, kind of some things to think about. So here on the 4-hour, you can see we're underneath all moving averages too. That's never fantastic. We can also see we're under 50 on the RSI, but we have a potential MACD convergence on the horizon. This kind of negates some of the other negativity. I wouldn't say it's 100% foolproof, but there's a little bit more weight that you should put into the MACD on the 4-hour. Keep in mind, we could absolutely see a situation where the MACD comes up, gets rejected, and the price comes back down. Okay, that's totally reality. I call it an MACDFU. But right now, we're hoping for the price action to converge here and continue higher. It very well should if it can close again above 25,800. That's the key level we're looking for. All right, so 4-hour looks slightly bullish, but do not misinterpret the word bullish by any stretch, because again, folks will hear what they want to hear and then just go along and go crazy. It's nothing like that. You want to have some pretty tight profit targets. Between 26.2 and 26.5 would be some healthy, realistic targets here to shoot for. For the moment, I wouldn't expect anything otherwise to be great. Okay, so again, just interesting behavior here, but the 4-hour looks slightly better, 60-40 split, if you will. The 1-hour, again, this being a weekend, not really all that telling. We can see we're probably likely still below the cloud, which is no surprise. Lagging spans almost intersect with the price action. Conversion lines above the baseline. These are, a couple of positive contributing factors, but the negativity here, or just the stark reality, is that we're stuck underneath this cloud here. Okay, that's exactly why a closure above 26,000 is imperative. So in order for us to have this little continuation to run up to the CME gap at 26.5, we have to close above 26,000, 26.1. Okay, so there's some interesting stuff that needs to happen here, and we're not there yet because again, lower volume, higher volatility. This is the kind of garbage that you see on the weekends, like it just nonsense where the price shoots up and down within literally 15 to 20 minutes. In fact, that was a funny thing. I sent this out through my Telegram as well, just kind of how to be very careful. Look at this garbage. Price wicks down here, and then the late shorts jump in. Late shorts get hammered. Late longs get in here, they get hammered, and the price goes right back to where it left off. It's just total garbage. That should not be happening at all. And there's just these large whales playing little games against each other. And unfortunately, a lot of folks like you and me are getting kind of stuck in the sidelines and getting kind of hammered, getting kind of wrecked. Good news is, and this is something that's kind of cool for our Premium Plus group here, we just went live with our day trades here recently. We're taking some nice healthy profits, albeit 5 to 10% at a time, but we're taking some nice profits. A good 5% there from BNB a couple of times. We've also got another XRP at 5%, and then we can see good 9% from Bitcoin. I mean, there's small little losses here and there, but for the most part, we're printing some pretty significant gains, right? So again, 5% here, 9% there, handful of other things. Again, there are some losses. You got to recognize that's going to happen. But the overall sense is that we're staying profitable with a lot of tiny little wins here. And that all adds up over time, right? So again, that's our Premium Plus group there. Awesome, cool stuff. Be sure to check that out. But otherwise, I can say that at this point, this is kind of par for the course where we're at right now. Unfortunately, we should expect the price to go lower before it goes higher. But I would expect, again, seems kind of contradictory, at least that CME gap at 26.5 to get filled before the price retraces back down. So it could very well look like one of these here, where the price comes up and comes back down, and then we will see an inevitable either up or down from there. And again, it's too early to tell, but we keep staying at this 25,000 range, we could very well see a lot lower price point. So I wouldn't spend all of your money here on spot, but I'm filling my bag partially to ensure that I get a nice average position around the 25 to 26,000 range. I feel comfortable with that. But again, everyone has different stories. Once more, spot is much different than leverage, so be careful in how you trade. I teach the difference, all that good stuff through my trading academy, so be sure to check that out. CryptoCash.tech is a site. Link down below. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.